What's up, guys? How's it going? Ryan here, back with you again after I think a 2 week break now, with another episode of the Deep Thoughts podcast. Pixel has returned
Hey,
from his
after like a
2 week
month,
vacation. Yeah, I think it's actually been like a month, huh?
it has been because the last time I was on here, it was before TwitchCon, and that was a month ago.
Oh man, yeah. So, for anyone who doesn't keep up with the social media or do any of those type of things, just a heads up that the reason why we took a break, the reason why Pix wasn't here was he had other priorities at the time with the last episode recorded. So if you guys noticed, it was just me. And then from there, we've had really light news. I feel like for the
Yeah,
last couple of weeks, so we just haven't been recording episodes, which is fine. Just for anyone who's listening or watching the VODs and all that stuff, we're most likely going to be switching it to a as news comes out, or when we have like a creative spark and we want to talk about something that has to do with Twitch, because we obviously have recognized that there's not always going to be news every single week that is impactful. That won't be like a 5-minute episode.
yeah,
And even this episode, to be frank, is going to be somewhat short. But
yeah.
yeah,
And it makes sense because like it's just after TwitchCon, like all of this news has been given already, and so it kind of makes sense that they are just not announcing anything.
right, exactly. So I'm not too surprised with that. But yeah, side note, Pixel and I met IRL for I don't know, a total of 40 minutes probably. And most of it was an Uber
Maybe,
ride.
yeah,
to the
if
convention
that.
to the convention center. So because Pixel wasn't here the last episode we did, and then we didn't have news for pretty much 2 weeks, we're kind of gonna go over a couple of things at the beginning that might be a bit outdated, but I thought would be good to get his impressions on, and then we'll kind of go into and segue into, I guess, the news segment, which has, I guess, a lot of things that we should be talking about and some pretty cool, exciting news, which we predicted. Like, we're like that guy. Who's that guy that predicted stuff like 500 years ago? You know what I'm talking about?
Nostradamus.
Yeah, we're that. We're that
Yeah,
guy. We predicted like half this stuff, I feel like. I honestly
we did.
we kind of predicted that. So, but anyway, before we start, just a friendly reminder that you can always subscribe to us on Spotify and iTunes. So doing so will make it so that you don't have to keep up with when the latest episode's released. Your phone or tablet or whatever you listen to the podcast on will be automatically notified when a new episode comes out. So keep that in mind. So that's the best way to keep up to date with us and stuff like that. Also, a reminder for all the audio and VOD listeners that we do stream live every Tuesday, or try to, at 9 p.m. PST over at twitch.tv/Ryan Kubo. If you go to the Twitch channel, you can check out and see all the podcast information down in the description below the channel as well. And as always, remember that if you guys want to, you guys can leave us a review on Spotify and iTunes. That really helps out our SEO, basically, and gives the podcast a little bit more legitimacy. As always, I'm not bribing you guys or doing paid reviews, but if you guys do review us, I will get notified, and we'll probably read some of those off in another episode when they do come through. Anyway, let's jump right into the news. Kind of an old type of segment here, but like I mentioned at the top of the show, Pixel was not here, and then we had 2 weeks off. But BlizzCon 2018, kind of wanted to just get Pixel's thoughts on the whole thing. Maybe sprinkle my thoughts again within it if Pixel reminds me of something that happened or whatever that I forgot. But yeah. Like I mentioned, Pixel and I met up, I think, early in the morning to my house. We Ubered down there, and then Pixel had to go get his ticket or pick up his badge, basically. And I don't think we really saw each other. It's really hard to hang out at conventions, I feel like.
It really is. And like I think we had different things we wanted to see and like people to meet.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just kind of split up and we met up again later in the day.
Mm-hmm. I mean, another thing is, too, that Pixel came on day 2. BlizzCon's a 2-day event, and I had already done a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do on day 1, which was like the demos and stuff like that. I had pretty much done all of them.
Yeah.
Pixel had not. And so for me, it was just like hanging out with people, catching up with some friends that I hadn't seen the first day for whatever reason, and then Pixel had his priorities with that. But it was still cool to see you and hang out and stuff like that. But I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on like the convention as a whole, as well as the announcements that were announced. And I guess we can go kind of down the list of announcements. And if you guys didn't know, go watch the previous episode or listen to the previous episode, because that's kind of where I gave all of my thoughts for the topics at hand, and where I went on like I think a 15-minute rant out of a 35-minute episode about Diablo Immortals and why gamers are dumb. So if you want to check out that rant, go back to episode 12. So we're gonna mostly get Pixels talks here. So let's just go through the announcements real quick, and then we can just talk about your BlizzCon experience, your personal BlizzCon experience with just seeing people or just being there as always.
Sure.
So first up, Hearthstone new expansion, Rostacon's Rumble, thoughts?
You know, I'm not a huge Hearthstone player, so
Mhm.
I am not going to be the best person to ask about this.
Right.
I mean, it's cool that they're adding some new mechanics to this. I'm kind of wondering, like, when does it get to the point where there's just too many mechanics?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're simple mechanics. Let's be honest. Like, overkill is a pretty simple mechanic, but
Yeah.
has there ever been a case with other games where you just have too many keywords when it's
I-
just like it just gets overwhelming?
Magic, I think, but that's about it.
Hmm.
I don't know.
And I don't think they like retire keywords, do they?
They actually kind of do. The only keywords that we've really seen come back in the meta is probably discover and
yeah.
rush, which was the last mechanic or whatever that was introduced. But it's kind of weird. Or I think they kind of touched upon this like recently in like a blog post or something. But one of the cards that's coming out in the next expansion says something like summon 3 pirates from your deck or something like that, and people are like, why doesn't it just not use the recruit keyword? And they were like, oh, recruits a kobolds and catacombs keyword, we don't want to reuse it. So apparently they want to have
Weird.
like a specific keyword for each expansion to make it unique, but then they don't want to use it afterwards. I think the difference between discover was it was really good, a good mechanic, but then I think the difference between rush was because echo, which is that one that allows you to play like the card over and over again, and rush were announced in this same expansion. And so since they announced 2 keywords, people are like, oh, probably one of these is going to stay around, and it looks like rush is the one that stayed around.
Yeah, that explains why I don't see inspire anymore.
Yeah, inspire, joust.
Yeah. Those cards.
Which is another one too as well. But next up, this is already kind of over. So, but it was kind of cool to see. But Destiny 2 was free on BattleNet until November 18th or whatever. It was just the base game. Just thoughts on Destiny 2 in general. On Activision creeping into the BattleNet launcher, stuff like that.
Yeah. No, it's weird that it's on the BattleNet launcher, but I mean, it makes sense. They're the same company. But, it's really cool that they're offering it for free. Like, I love free stuff.
Yeah.
But, it kind of also gives off this feeling that it's not a game you want to get into because it feels like it's on its last legs. If this is like their last hurrah, they're kind of desperate to get more users into the game. So for an MMO, that's not a good sign.
Right.
Unless there's like some really, really good micro transaction stuff going on with skins and other sort of like extras. Yeah, I'm not really sure about it.
Yeah, I
mean, it's cool. It's great because like you can just play it and it's guilt free. You don't have to pay for anything, and you can just experience it.
Yeah.
So that in and of itself is pretty cool.
I want to see what the BattleNet launcher looks like 5 years from now, especially since Call of Duty's now on it. Like, are they gonna have like the next 5 years of Call of Duty's on the BattleNet launcher? Like, that's just gonna be super weird. Like,
yeah, it is really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, next up is, I guess, WoW Classic comes out summer 2019, and it is lumped together with the current WoW sub. So you don't have to pay for 2 WoW subs. If you already have a WoW sub, you get your classic WoW thing. And it was also playable in demo at BlizzCon, as well as there was an hour-long beta that could be demoed at home. You had the virtual ticket. I believe it was like you started a character at level 15. You were in, I guess, like the Crossroads area. I don't know what the place is called. And you got to play for an hour. Yeah, what was it called? I don't remember.
I think it actually. Well, if you're talking about the one in the Barrens, it is actually called the Crossroads.
Okay, yeah, you start there around the Barrens, I guess. and then you get to play for an hour, and then there's a 90-minute cooldown, and then you can play another hour again. I guess it was just to get everyone who bought virtual tickets access to it. That went on for a couple weeks. Did you check out, I guess, thoughts on WoW Classic coming out in summer 2019? Did you play it at BlizzCon? Did you play the demo at home at all?
I played it at home, and like it was just a great little nostalgia trip, you know. Um, yeah, it was just great to hop back on and make it feel like it was 2004 again, uh,
Yeah.
just with updated graphics. Um, but I think this was the most exciting announcement for me, anyways,
Yeah.
just because like I grew up with WoW, like it was the one of the major influences for me growing up, and to see this being lumped with an actual WoW sub, just like coming with it for free, like that's amazing. Like who does
Yeah.
that? Like I love this because not only will it get more people playing Classic, but it's just I don't know, it's just like just a great value, you know?
Yeah.
It'll get people playing Classic, it'll get people playing regular modern WoW. So it's a great move on their part because I don't think that it would have lasted at all if they separated it out and actually forced you to pay for that too.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that would
Exactly.
not have that would not have flown with the community at all.
Do you so do you think that you're gonna play it a lot, or what is gonna be
Um,
your go-to with it?
I might play it, you know, but the thing is with like MMOs, it's really hard to play unless you have a bunch of friends playing too.
Right.
And if you remember classic WoW, it was not solo friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could solo, but like it was not fun at all. Like carrying around food and water
Especially if you're a major
and
warrior, you're kind of screwed.
oh, like oh, and then having to sit after everything to like make your regen like tick more per second,
Mm-hmm.
or having like a spirit stat to make your regen even larger. Like looking back, it was rough. Like if you had switched from like EverQuest to WoW, it was a cakewalk.
Yeah.
But for us now, it's even more of a cakewalk. And going back to that as a solo player, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll play it. I mean, it comes with my WoW sub, so I'll probably dabble in it regardless.
Yeah,
But I
I was
don't
messing around
know.
with it.
Yeah, I don't know how like how long it'll actually take and all that type of stuff to actually play it. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's
Um,
mostly just for the nostalgia trip. Like, oh, let's go find Hogger. You know?
I do hope that what happens from it is that people like the devs, the WoW devs, will be like, hey, these things within classic WoW were really good and it seems the player base really likes. Let's incorporate these back into like the normal version of WoW.
Mm,
Like I
mm.
really hope that is something that happens, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
I did like that they were adding a few of the modern features, like I think Dungeon Finder is part of Classic. Like you
No,
don't
it's not.
actually have to.
It's not. They confirmed it's not.
Oh, it's not okay. I think there's some way like instead of having to like summon people in, there was like quicker ways of getting people in dungeons, but maybe I was wrong.
You could be right, but I remember like watching streamers try to like go to the thing and it didn't work or something like that.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
know, but maybe.
maybe.
I'm not sure. Yeah, next up though, Heroes of the Storm unveiled a new original character, Orphea. I guess last year they really pushed this whole they wanted to add lore into Heroes of the Storm, I guess. Something
Mm.
that no MOBA game has ever really cared about. I'm talking about League of Legends and Dota 2. Like they tried to have some type of weird lore, the reasons why they're on their Summoner's Rift or whatever, and it just didn't like ever pan out. Like no one really cares, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess Heroes of the Storm has some type of base lore where all these people are coming from like alternate dimensions. So like that's why there's like certain skins. Like there was a theme of skins that were all mechs, like Mecha
Hmm.
Diablo and stuff. And I guess that's a realm or a
Hmm.
parallel universe that just has all the same characters, but they're all mecha. They're all robotic for some reason. And they come to the
Hmm.
Nexus to prove that their realm is the best realm or something.
Yeah.
But they decided to come out with a new character called Orphea. She is free if you bought a virtual ticket or attended BlizzCon. She's a totally original character, which means she's not based off of any of Blizzard's previous IPs.
Mm.
Um, I don't know. I don't know if you got to see her or check her out or play her, Pixel, but I mean, I thought that it's pretty cool that they're doing something like that and allowing heroes to stand on their own. What did you think about it?
I think it was pretty cool just because like it's like you said, a standalone character. And we haven't really seen that because a new property from Blizzard is very, very rare. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is I don't know if you can really call this a new property because it's still Heroes,
Mm-hmm.
but a new character within that is, it's pretty cool. And they made the right choice with like setting this game in this nexus because like it's a very, very open-ended idea. Like you could do so much with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they can basically have free reign to basically come up with anything they want, and they can justify it by saying this is this magical realm that connects like all these different universes together. And so like they have no restrictions
Right.
for what they can make. So I think it's just the beginning. Like Orphe's a cool character. I didn't get to play her,
Okay.
but she looks cool.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. There's, kind of related, kind of not, but I was reading an article today about Heroes of the Storm, and I guess they're about 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks late from announcing HGC 2019. So that's the Heroes like championship circuit. Like it's their
Oh,
version of like
okay.
LCS, and there's been like radio silence from Blizzard
Hmm.
on the 2019 competitive Heroes season.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Blizzard is trying to like slash and cut prices and stuff like that. And they hired an accountant this previous year and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So be interesting to see what happens to Heroes in general. But yeah, because I know that it's not that big of a game. I don't really know how
Yeah.
many players are playing it, but it doesn't seem like it's too popular of a game. But
Yeah, it's definitely the lowest performing. Well, I
yeah,
mean, I guess you could say
I think
Diablo
maybe
3 is
StarCraft
probably
1, Diablo 3, maybe StarCraft 2.
they're pretty low, and
Yeah,
I mean, at least Heroes is bringing in money through microtransactions, so it's got
that's
that
true.
going for it.
That is true.
And we can't really tell how popular a game is by using like Twitch numbers
Right.
because on Twitch, Heroes is really, really low. It's maybe like got a few thousand
Yeah.
people watching at any given time,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. No, I
playing
agree.
it could be a ton more.
Yeah. The thing with me that I kind of suspect that the numbers are kind of low with that game is that when I used to follow, and sometimes I'll check back on it every once in a while, when I used to follow like the Heroes of the Storm hashtags or the those type of hashtags, which usually people who
Mhm.
want to become Heroes of the Storm streamers use, or people who are just very hardcore fans of Heroes of the Storm use, like the big
Mhm.
streamers, let's say. um the my feed sometimes would only have about 20 tweets a day, and they were all from like people I recognized in the same like group of people in the Heroes of the Storm community, and I
Mhm.
didn't really see anyone that like I didn't really know, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why I'm like, I think Heroes is one of those games where like I don't think a lot of people are playing it, but the people who are playing it just love it, like they're hardcore like fans, you know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Like,
Type of
one of
thing.
my friends is super into Heroes, like,
Mm-hmm.
plays it almost every single day,
Mm-hmm.
is high it's like low diamond, I think, now.
Wow. Yeah.
So, like, really, really into the game and, still have fun with it. So, there are people out there that really, really enjoy the game, and it's a very dedicated, tight-knit community.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it will be around. I think that people who really love Blizzard games, like, it's Blizzard's MOBA. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If it dies, they
Right.
don't have a MOBA, and then they just go to other MOBAs that are already out there. So,
Right,
I
yeah.
don't doubt that it's still, pretty big. You know?
Mhm. Totally.
Next up, I guess, is just a couple of things. I guess we don't really have to talk about the Legos, but Overwatch Legos have been
Mhm.
announced. They're supposed to come out
Hey.
somewhere January 2019. They look more like, I guess, if people remember those like Bionic Knight sets. So they're not like
Hmm.
actual legitimate Lego sets, like 500 pieces. Here you can build El Dorado, or you can build Route 66. It looks like they're like literal like 200 to 300 pieces where you just build a character.
Hmm.
So there's that. But then also Overwatch Cinematic revealed a new character, Ash. She's
Mhm.
apparently the
Mhm.
ex-lover of Jesse McCree and also part of the gang that he used to run in. I don't know if you saw the trailer for it, Pixel Reunion, but what did you think if you
Uh
did?
Well, I didn't see the cinematic, but I did get to play Ash,
Okay.
and demo her, and she actually is pretty fun. Like, it took me a while to figure out how her ultimate works.
Oh, where
That
she
one's a
just calls
little
Bob.
Yeah, like I was confused like about what was going on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, takes a little bit of getting used to. Her gun's pretty cool. It's like very, very accurate.
Yeah, I
Um,
love they needed like a I loved like she has like a hunting rifle pretty much. I really like that,
mhm.
you know.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like, it's a lot of fun. I think she's just a pretty cool character. I think she's a lot of fun, and I think people are gonna have fun with her.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
Next up, I guess, is they announced Warcraft 3 Reforged, which is pretty cool. Just a heads up, the reason why it's called Reforged and not Remastered is apparently they talked to pro players in the Warcraft 3 scene who felt like the game was not fully balanced yet and was not
hmm,
completed. So with StarCraft, if you guys remember, a remastered version of StarCraft came out last year, and they basically went to Korea and talked to StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 pros, and they basically all unanimously said, please do not touch the game. We would just want a game that runs on the Battle.net launcher and that can run
hmm,
smoother and with the updated graphics possibly. They said, okay, fine. But with Warcraft 3 Reforged, they were pretty much hounded and asked by the Warcraft 3 community, oh, can you balance this? Can you add this? Can you do this? And
mm,
so Warcraft 3 Reforged, you know, it's technically a 4K, whatever you want to call it, remaster of the Warcraft 3 game, but it will have updates that will balance classes out and
hmm,
change the classes or whatever of it as well.
mhm,
Also, Christy Golding, or I believe her name is, has been confirmed to have added things within the Warcraft 3 campaign that make the
hmm.
Warcraft 3 campaign more consistent with the current World of Warcraft storyline. So there are
Interesting.
some added cinematics, added voice work done within the campaign itself.
Oh,
Um,
that's pretty cool.
at BlizzCon, you guys were able to play the Calling of Strathholm and demo that. Pixel, thoughts on Warcraft 3 Remastered? Have you pre-ordered yet? It's also $40 a pre-order, guys, by the way.
This is gonna be one I'm gonna pass on just because like
Okay.
RTS games they're not my thing anymore.
Yeah.
Like they're
But custom games, dude. And they're updating the
yeah.
custom game dev kit.
I know, right? It's just I don't know. I think RTS games are just not my thing anymore,
That's fair.
unfortunately.
That's fair.
Yeah, I did play it. You know, there's a definite nostalgia trip going through Strathholm and then like seeing all the updated graphics
Yeah, looks good.
and their faces are a little weird. I think it's a little too much. It's a little strange to me.
Right. Okay.
But you know, everything else was almost like exactly like Warcraft 3
Hmm.
when it came out. So I think for like nostalgia, I think this is just like a general sort of thing that was going on this BlizzCon was all the nostalgia.
Right. Right.
Um
Yeah, makes sense.
and yeah, Warcraft 3 I think is going to it's going to hit those feels right in the right place
Hmm.
because a lot of people love Warcraft 3 and a lot of people would love to see that on a modern machine.
Right.
And so I think it's gonna be pretty popular. I think people are gonna like this one.
Definitely. I will also add that if you guys somehow still have your Warcraft 3 CD key and it's linked to your current BattleNet, all players who have original Warcraft 3 will be able to play with their friends on Warcraft Remastered and vice versa.
Hmm.
And then all maps from current Warcraft 3 will be playable on Warcraft 3 Remastered. They just won't have the updated graphics and stuff. So you guys could technically play Dota 6.49 or whatever the version number is on Warcraft 3 Remastered.
Oh,
You just
wow.
yeah, you just won't be able to have like better graphics or something. So just keep that in mind as well that if you guys don't it's I believe $30 for just the base game and it's going to be $40 which $40 gets you a couple of in-game loot stuff for Heroes of the Storm, for heroes, all that type of jazz, right? And some cosmetic, I think, skins to replace some of the
Mhm.
units in Warcraft 3. But if you already have
Huh.
Warcraft 3, I believe that is also going to be patched as well, from what I understand. So both of
Wow,
them are going to
okay.
be patched. So really, all you guys are paying for is like a newer revamped campaign and better graphics. So keep that in mind if you guys don't want to spend any of that money.
Huh.
All right. Lastly, biggest elephant in the room that we have to
Mhm.
talk about that's been getting
Yep.
controversy and so much crap taken from everyone
Oh, boy.
is uh do you have a smartphone, Pixel?
I can't believe that became a meme. You've got a phone, right?
You got a phone, right? Diablo Immortals. If you guys don't know what this is, I don't know what to tell you. I guess I'll tell you anyway. The Diablo community has been pretty sad lately and has been asking for Diablo 4 was Diablo 4 about a month or so ago. Before BlizzCon, I mean, about a month before. Blizzard made a blog post. They said, "Hey, we all know what you're talking about. We all know what you want. It will not be at BlizzCon." So, me, I made a couple of jokes. Said, "What if they just 300 IQ'd us and Diablo 4 is actually being announced?" So we get to
Yeah.
BlizzCon and Diablo Immortals is announced, and everyone gets pissed because it's not Diablo 4. When they came out with the blog post that said, "Hey, we ain't announcing Diablo 4."
Yeah.
So it was, for me, being there on the first day, it was pretty bad.
Really?
Just the reaction was just like a lot of booing. Like a few people are actually like throwing stuff at the stage, which I think is
Wow.
like pretty uncalled for.
Yeah, that's just no.
And then right after that, they had a "What's Next in Diablo" on the main stage immediately after. And that's where we got the infamous guy who basically said, "Is this an April Fool's joke?
Yeah.
Or is this serious?" And where we got a lot of other stuff. And just a couple of things before we get to Pixel's thoughts with it. It is in partnership with a company called NetEase, which apparently is a Chinese-based mobile gaming company who has done other things from there. I have personally played the game. I thought it was decent. I was at BlizzCon, so obviously my phone, I didn't want to use my phone the whole time, so I didn't actually know like the whole Diablo 3 subreddit was on fire and people were like memeing and stuff. I was just like, hey, pretty fun mobile game. But yeah, Pixel, what are your thoughts about this Diablo 3 or sorry, Diablo Immortals? And will you be playing it? What are your thoughts about it? And there's also some other information that we can kind of talk about that has also recently come out about, Diablo and I guess Blizzard as a whole that we should probably touch upon. But yeah, what do you think?
Oh man, where do you begin with something like this? Uh, I mean, like I'm gonna agree with you because like they came out with a blog post early on saying, "Hey, we know what you're thinking about BlizzCon, and we're not announcing it."
That
So
that
they
has
already
to
set
mean
up.
that has to mean Diablo 4 or Diablo 2 remastered. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They set it up and said like, "Don't get your hopes up. We're
Mm.
not announcing that." Like, so I don't think they could have been any more clear without saying, "Hey, we're not releasing or announcing Diablo 4."
Right.
Like that's as clear as they could have been.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people still wanted to hope and
Mm-hmm.
pray that this was going to be Diablo 4.
Right.
It wasn't. But ultimately, I don't think it was a good call to announce this game at BlizzCon.
Okay.
I don't know if this was something that NetEase pushed for or if this was completely Blizzard's call, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this was the right venue to announce this game, especially with the fan reaction leading up to it. I think they should have actually just said nothing. I think this was.
I think they should have reiterated what they said in the blog post, but during the convention at the very end, I
Mhm.
think that would have been a little bit better.
Yeah. Like there could have been like two alternates that I could have thought of. Like one is obviously not saying anything at all, which probably people would have been like mad, but they wouldn't have been furious.
Mm.
The other thing was to just go into like After Effects, spend 5 minutes and create a Diablo 4 card
Yeah.
and just like flash it on the screen for like a few seconds, say, well, we'll come out with some stuff to show you next year, but we're just not ready to show it now. But we wanted to tell the fans that this is happening.
Yeah, like we are
So
working on this. This is why Diablo 3 development is dead, pretty much.
right, like knowing Blizzard's long development cycles, that would have taken like it would be years before we actually see a Diablo 4 if it even exists. So if they were announce a game like now and they release it 4 or 5 years from now, that like your buzz just dies down in between that time.
Right.
So they have to announce it at the right time. And if they're this early in the production cycle, then yeah,
Yeah.
they kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You don't want to announce it too early.
Yeah. I will say that there has been some news and articles been posted about what's been going on at Blizzard. I think a lot of it is just Activision. Apparently, from articles that I've personally read, it sounds like Activision really wants them to push out something new every year, just
Mm.
something for profits or whatever.
Mhm.
where I kind of feel like a lot of from I think from now on, what we're gonna see is like a lot of smaller titles coming out from Blizzard that still have that Blizzard quality stamp of polish on them, but then
Mhm.
like major IPs still taking like 4 or 5 years to to come out. I
Yeah.
think this year when they announced that like pretty much like an accountant that Activision hired that works at Blizzard is like trying to cut the books and balance the budgets. I think that's like a big thing because that's never happened at Blizzard, right?
Right.
There's also been reports that Mike Morhaime didn't leave out on his own accord, but he was pushed out by Activision
Yeah.
as well. And like I said, this is all rumors, guys, because they were like interviewing people who had like left or quit Blizzard for whatever reason. So it's the truth is somewhere probably in the middle.
Yeah.
Um,
We might never know like
right.
exactly what happened.
Another thing is apparently they're still afraid of basically Titan, right? Their MMO that never came out.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
announced it back in like 2006, 2007, and even said, "Hey, we're working on it," and it never came out. And then when
Mhm.
it publicly got announced that it was basically in 2013 that it was never coming out, it left a
Mhm.
big stain on Blizzard.
Yeah.
Um, but from what we understand, Diablo 4 is in development. It is being made. They're trying to push it out for 2020. Apparently, they started working on it right after Reaper of Souls because the higher ups literally the day after Reaper of Souls came out, they pretty much just split up the Reaper of Souls dev team to start working on Diablo 4. And apparently internally Diablo 4 was just hailed as a failure even though Diablo Reaper of Souls was sold like 15 million copies. And they've been working on it since I guess it came out in like whenever that came out, 2013 or 2014, and it's been
Mhm.
restarted at least one time.
Yeah, I
And
haven't heard any of these things. I
yeah,
have no idea.
so it's in a. I
Uh,
think I sent you the article a little bit ago. It was like a Kotaku article.
oh.
It's pretty
Hmm.
long, but I can send it to you later. But yeah,
Okay.
apparently they did have a game that was like pretty close to being done, and they totally restarted it. The only details we know about Diablo 4 is it's going back to the Diablo 2 art style, as in more darker and gritty.
Mhm.
And apparently they're taking certain aspects that they like from Destiny 2's cooperative play, and incorporating it into the game. That's all we know. And the rumor is that in January, or this is what was said in the article, in January, they were told to prep for a Diablo 4 announcement at BlizzCon this year.
Hmm.
But then around October, it was canceled.
Mhm.
So like a month before, and then I think they just substituted Diablo Immortals. That's what I think. Um,
Yeah, it's possible, yeah.
yeah, I will say that I think you remember when we watched the keynotes for Bethesda and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think what they should have done is done what Bethesda did. Remember, like Bethesda, like announced that stupid iPhone game for Skyrim, and it was like just
Oh,
you waved your
the
finger back and forth or whatever. It was after they
oh,
announced Fallout 76.
oh, so you're not talking about Fallout Shelter.
No, 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 no. It was like another game. They announced like another game, which is like a first-person hack and slash game on the iPhone. It was on Android
Oh,
phones,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and
Not
everyone was
yeah.
kind of like, "This kind of sucks, boo." And they're like, "All right, Bethesda keynote's over," and everyone was getting up. And then they flashed a cinematic trailer that showed that they were working on the next Elder Scrolls game, and it was literally just like a hawk, like flying
Mhm.
over the world of Elder Scrolls, and then the hawk disappeared, and it was like coming soon, Elder Scrolls
Yeah.
6, or in development. It said. I think they should have done
Yeah, yeah.
something like that, like you were saying, with Diablo 4. Like at least say like it's in development,
Exactly,
you
yeah.
know,
Like,
because you don't
I
hear
think
people complaining
there's
about the mobile game at the Bethesda conference afterwards, right? You just
right,
heard
yeah.
Fallout 76, and there's some stupid mobile game, but also we got some good stuff coming in the make, like
Yeah.
soon, right? So yeah,
Yeah, so, like, I understand the argument where, you don't want hype to die down for a game, but this is one of those cases where it might have made sense because I don't think hype would actually die for this. There's
yeah,
there's so much that could take it, like, to, next year, like,
hmm
where you can refresh that hype. People will be speculating, people will be, like, talking about it. There's so much that could have kept the community engaged, and, like, a 5-minute Photoshop job could have done it.
yep. No, I totally agree. Did you play the game Pixel?
Yes, I actually did.
Okay,
There was no lines.
Nope.
That did not need to be said, unfortunately.
Yep.
There was probably like maybe 40% of the stations were occupied with people trying it out.
And we played on for just clarification. Pixel went on the second day, like I said earlier. I went on the first day. It was the same. There was no lines.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I walked right up, started playing, and it felt like a Diablo game. Like it felt like a Blizzard owned property. It wasn't anything that was made by a third party. So
Mhm.
all the design, artwork, story, and all that stuff is Blizzard. So in that sense, it feels like a pretty stripped down version of a Blizzard game. I mean, a Diablo game.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so you do have an inventory, you have abilities. I mean, it's push and hold. There's like an auto aim, so there's not too much skill involved. There's some skill shots, but for the
Mhm.
most part, like your most attacks are basically just press and hold the key, and you're killing enemies.
Right.
So for a mobile game, that's kind of what you want, anyways. And for what it is, it's not bad.
Mhm.
It's not a bad looking game. It plays pretty well. It's pretty solid. Um, it didn't feel glitchy or anything like that. It just
Right.
felt like a responsive, solid game. You can play this and be fine. As it stands, it's not a bad game.
Yeah.
It's just everything around it that surrounded the announcement of this game
No.
that just sucked, and I think that's going to hurt it. But if this game were announced at like Gamescom or something like that, this game would have been fine. It would have been like so much better. It would have been so much more successful. I think. But we'll wait until the actual numbers come out. But I think them announcing this at BlizzCon is actually going to hurt it.
Yeah, I agree. I think honestly, I keep saying it, but I think Activision is really here to blame. I feel like just Activision wants them to push out those numbers. I feel like they might have been pressured by them to do it.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Like for me, the probably the strangest part of that whole keynote was like Mike Morhaime coming up and then him giving like a goodbye speech and then like handing over the reins to the new guy and then Mike just
Hmm.
leaving the stage like never to come back and for the new guy to just
Yeah.
like kind of take over. Like that was weird to me.
Hmm.
I don't know if I've never actually seen another CEO switch from a game company, but it was just weird to see that. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I pretty much agree with you on everything. Graphics were good, gameplay was good, it was solid, felt like a Blizzard game. The thing with me, and I think for a lot of people, is that I like if I do play a mobile game, it's very simplistic actions when I'm on the toilet. You know what I mean? Or when I'm waiting for a friend and he's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm running 10 minutes late. I need to get like we're meeting for lunch," and he's like, "I'm running 10 minutes
Yeah.
late." I'm like, "All right, I'll play a Hearthstone game on my phone." Maybe I'll play some little puzzle game or something like that, right? If this is
Sure.
a
Yeah.
game that requires me to, play for a couple hours every day or 2 to 3 hours straight every night to progress, I don't think that I would actually play this game very often. Just because I don't like mobile controls and the time commitment is already too high for me.
Yeah.
This game's definitely I feel like for an overseas market, specifically the Asia market. I have a friend that I'm not going to name. He's going to remain anonymous, but he said I could talk about it and stuff. But he does own a mobile game company that specifically targets the app stores in China, and he has had some pretty big successes over there. And he will come out with games that are literally in alpha. The game screen will say, "Warning: this game is in alpha," or "Warning: this game is in beta," and he will get feedback from the Asian demographic. They'll be like, "This game is awesome. I've never seen frame rates this high. I've never seen like art this good," because their standard of gaming on mobile phones is just way lower. Like I'm telling you,
Hmm.
like my friends' games run at 15 FPS, and they're like, "Wait, you could do better than this?" And they're like freaking out. Or the art is like half done, not colored, and they're like, "This is
Wow.
awesome." Um, so I know that the reception of Diablo Immortals, at least from Asia, China, etc., has been
Uh-huh.
actually pretty positive. It's been like, wow, this looks amazing. Like to them, this might as well be Diablo 4 for them.
Oh yeah. I think
So
this is going to be great for that market, and I think that this is the game for them.
yeah,
And like it or not, the Chinese market is far bigger than the American
yeah.
market. So there's a lot more people there to get microtransactions from. So
I think that's also why microtransactions is a thing too, more prevalent in
yeah,
most games nowadays as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like for as a business decision, I mean, it only makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I can't really fault them. You
Yeah.
know.
If you guys didn't know, by the way, Diablo 3 is actually a free to play game in China. At least the last time I checked, it's a free to play game in China with microtransactions. So all those cosmetics and stuff that we get every season for free, they actually pay for. And
Hmm.
all that type of stuff. And I believe, not 100% sure, don't flame me in my emails, but I'm pretty sure they also pay for seasons as well. Like to gain access to a new season is like a couple of bucks or
Oh
something.
wow. Okay.
So it's definitely like a free to play type of game, and they're willing to shell it out. So I'm not surprised that this is happening with Diablo Immortals.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think the last thing I want to touch on before we move on to the rest of our articles is that in that article that I actually I'll send you later, they were also talking about how this basically came out from like their Blizzard think tank, which is where Hearthstone came from. And apparently, I forgot the CEO. I'm sorry, CEO of Diablo, the game designer. But he pretty much said that they have the best and brightest game developers working in that think tank for other mobile games for other IPs. So Tom Childen, if you know who he is, he's kind of the guy who
Yeah.
replaced Ghostcrawler. He's been working on that team for a Warcraft mobile game for apparently the last couple of years. So we're gonna have more mobile games, besides Diablo Immortal. So
Okay.
get prepared. Mobile only games, by the way. So
Uh.
be prepared for that, people. I'm just gonna let you know. Also, I just want to say I called it. We made BlizzCon predictions, and one of my bold predictions was that they would be announcing a mobile game of one of their IPs, or that they would be announcing that multiple mobile games of their IPs would be coming out in the next 2 to 3 years. I called it. I just want to say that I called it first. That's all I gotta say.
uh.
Um,
Read them like a book.
yeah, but anyway, Pixel, closing thoughts about Diablo Immortals really quick, and then also closing thoughts on just BlizzCon, your experience in general.
Closing thoughts on Diablo Immortal.
Yeah.
It's just good. It's a decent game for what it is. Bad timing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can remove yourself from like all the other stuff surrounding it, it can still be a decent game to play.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're like living under a rock, you're gonna love it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anyways, but overall, BlizzCon, it's just a good time for me to just like meet up with old friends and things like
Yeah,
that.
same.
I kind of wish that they had something bigger to announce.
Mm.
I mean, not to say that Mike Morhaime leaving and these new characters and stuff like that are not big announcements,
Right.
but I really think they either should have had a bigger announcement or, like they have in the past, push off the BlizzCon like a year
Mm.
and do something next year when they have more news.
Right.
And they've done that in the past when they didn't feel like they had enough news to have a convention. And
Yeah.
so maybe it would have been better off just like holding off a year and just like, just piling on the announcements for like a huge BlizzCon next year.
Yeah. I
So,
feel like,
eh.
yeah, I agree with you on that. I feel like BlizzCon's becoming less and less about announcements and more about one esports. So it's going to happen every year because you saying like like let's say Blizzard's like there's no BlizzCon next year. That basically means
Mhm.
okay, we now have to shell out probably more money to have like a Heroes finals, a StarCraft 2 finals, or Overwatch World Cup.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's just easier even if there is no announcements. And then slowly you see people doing that. Like literally the opening ceremony started with like welcome back home. Like they're pushing for that more of it's a community thing. Don't worry about the
Mm,
announcements. It's not that big of a deal.
yeah.
But I agree with your sentiment on um, BlizzCon. I think this year was probably
Mm,
my favorite year, even though the announcements kind of sucked.
mm,
Only because usually it's like myself and another friend who usually go, and maybe like
mhm.
another friend comes, maybe like 1 to 2 people come. We kind of just like wander around. But this year we had, let's see, 5, 6, 7 people from our my IRL group come, and then I got to meet about 4 to 5 people that I've talked to and play games with online in person. So we actually had a pretty big group, and we're rolling with a pretty big group for the longest time.
Mhm.
So I think it was definitely enjoyable. So
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
highlight of BlizzCon though for me was definitely the StarCraft 2 finals and just seeing like a non-Korean
Oh
win
yeah,
for the
that was
first time ever,
amazing.
and that was ridiculous.
I
Also,
I
seeing
s-
Hodor rocking out as a DJ, and then being next to Brian Kibler. while he was
Oh
doing
man,
that was pretty cool too. So
that's awesome, man.
that was
No,
pretty
I'm glad
fun.
you had fun.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. Speaking of no announcements and conventions that don't have any because they're more about community and I don't like, but whatever. We got a pretty actually random announcement. Once again, we called this. Pixel and I called this, I feel like, again. But they announced, I believe, a week ago or so that TwitchCon Europe is happening in
Yeah.
Berlin, Germany on April 13th to 14th, 2019. The statement says, with an amazing TwitchCon 2018 behind us, we just knew we couldn't wait an entire year to do it all over again, so we're not going to. In 2019, make room for a second TwitchCon. On the 13th to 14th April, join us taking over the City Cube Berlin in Germany for the first ever TwitchCon Europe. It will be the same celebration of creators, fans, and everything else we love about Twitch, but much, much closer to our European community. And you can sign up with an email to get newsletters and stuff. So just a couple of short things to talk about before we really dive into this announcement. This is not replacing TwitchCon in California. It has been confirmed that this is a second TwitchCon that may happen every year depending on how big this type of thing is. We kind of called this on the podcast as well. This is pretty much something that they're going to be probably pushing for a while now. And from here on out, where there will be multiple TwitchCons around the world. There's a reason why this one's called TwitchCon Europe. There may be a TwitchCon Asia. There might be a TwitchCon Canada. And then there is TwitchCon, which is the one that will be every year in California. So they're going to something like a PAX. There's PAX West, PAX East, PAX South, and then PAX Prime, right? Which Prime is the main one. So just kind of throwing that out there. I know a lot of people were kind of freaking out about it and being like, whoop, guess I'm not going to TwitchCon, or like rip this or whatever. But yeah. What's your thoughts, Pixel, initially?
Initially, I think this is fantastic. I think TwitchCon really needs to expand, and this is going to make it a lot easier for EU audiences, obviously, to attend a TwitchCon, and meet their favorite streamers. This is not going to be for the US market. I mean, sure, you can go, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of US streamers that are going to take part in this. Which is fine. There is a lot of European streamers that have a huge audience, and this is really for them. And the best part of it is, if this is successful, that means we might see, like you said, like something like what PAX does, and we have a TwitchCon East Coast, a TwitchCon Canada, or TwitchCon South. We might open it up so that we have maybe like 4 or 5 TwitchCons going throughout the year.
Right. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know how many people are actually going to be able to attend all of them, but it's going to make it easier for people.
Oh, definitely not everyone's going to be able to attend all of them.
Yeah, like especially like with streamers, like there's just no way.
No, definitely. I think people. I feel like with this one, a lot of people are going to go. From what I hear, and from streamers I watch, I know that a lot of people are going to be going to this one from NA because it's like the first one and stuff like that. But I like maybe even next year if they do another one, I could see a lot of NA streamers going. But it's kind of like PAX. I feel like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, like every streamer was going to every PAX every year, and now it's like, hey, are you going to PAX South? Like, meh, nah, I haven't gone in the last 2 years. Or like, might go to Prime, not sure. Might go to E3. Now it's like everyone's kind of over it. Whereas before, everyone was going to like every PAX. I felt like every year. So I can see that happening, and I agree with you. I can see it definitely being split into regions, and I think that might be the purpose. Like Twitch Asia, they will probably be inviting, like, let's say, a lot of Asian streamers, partnered streamers from that region, or like Twitch Europe, it will probably be a lot of people from Europe being invited, and then maybe like a big like Shroud or Ninja or something, or some big handful of the big streamers. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
yeah, totally.
But because when you're a partner, you don't get paid to go to TwitchCon, as well as you just get a slight discount on a ticket. I don't actually know like how much like how many people are actually going to commit to multiple TwitchCons. I think that's my issue.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think this is going to be an awesome test bed. I noticed that it's actually shorter than the American TwitchCon. It's 2 days instead of 3.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So I think this is just like a really quick test, just like see, like get some feelers out there, see like how successful this is.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm you know what? I think this is going to sell out.
Oh yeah,
I really
for
think this is
sure.
going to sell out.
Well, I think they're not going to sell a lot of tickets too, as well. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be like a pretty big thing, you know.
Yeah, I think this is going to be. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be exciting. It's only 5 months away,
dude.
Like
it's yeah.
It's how fast is that? They got the announcement out a week ago, and they're like, "Yo, 5 months, TwitchCon Europe."
Yeah, no, definitely. Are you going to be going is the more important question, because I know I'm not going. I'm not going at all. I mean, is there any rumble? Is there even I'm a 0%. 0% I'm not going. Is there any little bit of you that's like 5% I might go? Or is it a 0 for you as well?
It's so expensive.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so
and it's 2 days, right? So you'd have to go like a week before.
Yeah,
I would do that, but I'm 0%
up.
on this.
I'm like 0, maybe 5%, because I've never been to Germany and I'd love to go. But the thing is like TwitchCon. I've said this before, but TwitchCon, the reason I go is because of the people.
Right. Yeah.
I don't go because of the convention itself.
Right.
Like, I don't go for the game demos or whatever they show.
Right. Of course.
I go for the streamers that I can meet there, and I go there for the community that I can meet there.
Right.
So if neither of those two are going, then it's a no for me.
Yeah.
So other people might have different reasons for going, but for me, like, if I can't have that, then I'm just going to be exploring Berlin. I'm not going to be going to TwitchCon.
Yeah, which also sounds awesome though. But yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
So we'll give you guys more information on TwitchCon Europe and kind of the pricing of the tickets, who's all going, who's signing up for that type of stuff. I guess when there's more news about it. I signed up for the newsletter thing, so I should be getting more information whenever we have that. But yeah, so good luck, EU people. Love you guys. Shout outs to you. Hope that you have a good TwitchCon. Let me know how it is, and I'm sure people will be live streaming from the venue, because I'm interested to see what it looks like, because I feel like it might just be smaller, be more of like a meet and greet type of thing, like always, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that might be fun.
All right, so we got a couple more articles. Just gonna blaze through these really quick, guys. Not much to say about this. There is some deals coming. Blizzard of Bits starts on Twitch. I actually thought this was about Blizzard Entertainment, and then I read it, and I was like, I'm really disappointed, actually. But some deals that are happening. Just an FYI, one of the deals is already gone. It's the top deal from November 21st to 26th. You were able to purchase 2,500 bits for $25. I'm not sure how much that actually saved you. And then you got 200 extra bits to give to a friend or keep for yourself. So apparently you got 2,700 bits for $25. I didn't purchase them. I don't know if you did, Pixel.
I did, actually.
Okay.
I think you end up saving like $6 or something like that. It's not huge.
Right. So yeah, just a little thing on that. Next up, starting on December 3rd, if you buy any Twitch hoodie from the Twitch store on December 3rd, literally just on December 3rd, guys, you will receive $15 worth of bits delivered to your Amazon email address on December 5th, so 2 days later. Offer is valid for only 1 day, so don't miss out. Limit 1 per person. I might do this.
Not ideal.
I actually might do this. I do need a new hoodie, and I usually buy one once a year or something like that. So I don't know. Might be something I purchased. And then lastly, there's a thing on Twitch called Holiday Season of Giving from December 12th to 27th. On any Twitch channel, whenever you use bits to cheer with the hashtag charity or use the custom charity cheer emotes, we will donate 20 cents for every 100 bits used to disaster relief. You'll unlock custom charity chat badge and other stuff. Pretty cool. Once again, Twitch already takes a processing fee from you guys, so you pay $1.40 for 100 bits. So for them to give 20 cents, they still make a profit of 20 cents. So I'm just throwing that out there, guys. They're still making money off of you. I'm just saying that.
Be upfront about it.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. I guess the charity is cool. It goes to direct relief, I guess, is the charity. Yeah, just thoughts on this, Pixel. Are you going to be cheering bits to charity? Are you buying a jacket? I know you already bought the bits bundle.
You know what? I could use another hoodie, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I like zip up hoodies. They're nice. They're pretty well worn now, so I could always use another one.
Right.
Holiday Season of Giving. I mean, I'm gonna cheer regardless. So why not toss in a hashtag charity with it?
Yeah, that's fair.
So it doesn't really hurt you. So
fair.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like clothing brands that explicitly sell, like, I kind of like techwear nowadays, but I don't like brands that explicitly sell their brand to other people, you know. So I don't really like just like buying logoed shirts that just have like Twitch on them. Like, I just don't like that. So it depends on what kind of designs they have. If a lot of them are just like really blatantly like Twitch on the thing, or just has like a giant cap on it, like, I don't know. Like, I have a Twitch shirt that a lot of you guys have seen me wear, where it's like literally a green pocket, and then like on the pocket is a little like Twitch flag that's stamped on it. But like, people out will be like, "Oh, where'd you get that shirt?" And like, they don't even know it's from Twitch. Like, I like that. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I think the two hoodies they have are on the Amazon store. It's the black one and the gray one. It's a zip up hoodie.
Okay.
So I think that's the one that that's part of the deal.
Okay.
So
I mean, maybe they'll come out with like an ugly. I wish they came out with like an ugly sweater or something. That would be cool.
That would be pretty
like,
cool.
I'm wondering if they don't come out with like Christmas ones or something eventually.
They should. They did last year.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see, and we'll update you guys on that as well. I think we're gonna save the last article for probably the next episode, since this episode's been going pretty long, actually. Longer than I expected for it to go to, but we'll save that for next week, because I think that could be a topic that could literally go on for maybe another 20 to 30 minutes, and it's about the new music rules on Twitch.
Yeah, that could be a long one.
So that can be a long one, and we've already been talking your guys' ear off for about an hour. So we're gonna save that for next week, or the next time we do an episode, just to touch base on that as well. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out with us as always. Appreciate it. Sorry that we took a long break, but like I said at the top of the hour of the podcast, I'll just reiterate for people coming in late or for people who missed it. We're probably going to be switching to maybe a bi-weekly format, or maybe when we just have enough news to talk about. We've realized that it's kind of hard, especially now that TwitchCon is over, that there aren't as many updates coming out about Twitch as well. And then probably the direction of the podcast as well. I know that this podcast could have been called like a Blizzard podcast today, but Blizzard is a video game company that does a lot of things with Twitch, and I think that it's kind of silly for us to not touch base on like video games, because really Twitch is a video game streaming and other creative streaming platform, so it'd be kind of weird to just not talk about those type of things. So absolutely. I think that's probably what the plan is. Maybe talk more about conventions and gaming and stuff a little bit, but then also pushing the episodes back to when we have news. But if we do have enough news, we'll still be here every single week and stuff like that. So Pixel, where can they find you? I know you haven't done this in 3 weeks. You're just dying for a shout out. So where can they find you, buddy?
Well, you can find my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/pixel_pusher101, or my Twitter, pixel without the underscore pusher101.
Yeah, that's where you can find him. I just 11-month resub to him, and I don't know if he's ever streamed since he got his affiliate button. By the way,
stop guilting me.
I'm just guilting you so you resub to me, buddy, or you sub to me. That's how this works. But no, he'll be streaming pretty soon, I hope. Yeah, and for myself, you can follow me at twitch.tv/Ryan Kubo, RYANKUBO. All lowercase, all one word. That's also my Twitter and my Instagram. If you go to my Twitch or go to the episode description in this episode, you can check out the Spotify and iTunes links for this podcast. If you go to my Twitch, you can also find the links to this podcast and my other 2 podcasts that I do as well. You can also go to youtube.com/SHIGEOS Twitch TV. That's all one word, all lowercase as well. And that's where the VODs for this episode will be uploaded to check out and stuff like that. And you can see both of our laggy faces because Discord's being a butt today.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. But yeah, anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks, Pixel, for coming out.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, thanks for coming back. I'm glad I didn't scare you off when you said you were going to take off because you had some stuff to do. So just kidding. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much. I will catch you guys. Actually, I was used to saying but we will catch you guys in the next episode. Take care, guys.
All right, see you guys.